Hi everyone, for this lesson we'll take a look at different types of angle pairs, and the first one we're going to look at are adjacent angles. So by definition, if you have two angles that are coplanar and they share a common side and a common vertex, but they don't have common interior points, then by definition they are adjacent angles. So now let's explore angles 1 and 2. And does it have a common side? Yes, it does. So the common side is this one here. Okay. Does it have a common vertex? Yes, right here. Okay. So check, check. And are there any overlap between 1 and 2? No, so we're good. So between angles 1 and 2, these two angles are adjacent angles. And if we were to look at angles 3 and 4, they have the same property as angles 1 and 2. Right? They have a common side right here and a common vertex right here. And there are no overlaps between the regions. So angles 3 and 4 are also adjacent angles. Alright, so now let's take a look at vertical angles. And by definition, this is when you have two angles formed by intersecting lines, as shown here. And they share a vertex but not a side. So from the diagram, we know that angles 1 and 2 are vertical angles, and angles 3 and 4 are also vertical angles. Alright, so now let's explore complementary angles. And remember, it's complementary with the E, not with the I. I'm not giving you a compliment. So when you have two angles whose measures add up to 90 degrees, then we can call them complementary angles. So here angles 1 and 2 are complementary because it's indicated by this box here, which means that the two angles add up to 90 degrees. And angles A and B are also complementary because if we were to add up these two angles, they add up to 90 degrees. So if you have two angles whose measures add up to 180 degrees, then those two angles are called supplementary angles. Okay? So here we have angles 3 and 4, and they're adjacent angles, and they actually make up a straight angle. Hence, the sum of their angles will be 180 degrees. So these two are supplementary. As for angles E and F, angle E is 40 degrees and angle F is 140 degrees, which is an obtuse angle. And if you were to add them up, the sum of the angles is 180 degrees. So therefore angles E and F are also supplementary angles. Let's take a closer look at angles 3 and 4 again. We actually have a special name for angles 3 and 4, and it's called a linear pair. A linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles, and angles 3 and 4 are adjacent angles. And also the non-common sides are opposite rays. And if you look at this diagram, the opposite rays are indicated by this ray and this ray here. And we're done and we're happy.